Welcome back to the program. You're watching Daybreak on Trust TV on this special commemorative day, focusing on Nigerian workers. Well, before we get to the papers, let's cross over to Kaduna, where the NLC State Chapter Chairman, Comrade Ayuba Suleiman, is standing by to talk to us on this very special day and the concerns of workers in Kaduna. Comrade, good morning. Happy Workers' Day to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's just get your take on what this day means for your members, especially in Kaduna State.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Chairman, can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello, Chairman, can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Let me speak louder.
Chairman, can you hear us? Hello, Chairman, can you hear me?
Hello?
I think we're unlucky with the connection this morning, but we're gonna have to move on and go straight right in to the papers. Let's take a look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today, shall we? Let's take a look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper for today as we talk about this year's Workers' Day, which is of course the big story on the pages this morning. A look at the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. It talks about May Day. NLC rejects 35% pay rise, insist on a living wage. We're going to bring you that graphics just so you can take a look at the feel for the newspaper today. And it says, committee yet to submit report on minimum wage. Atiku says it's worst moment for Nigerian workers. Why is he saying that? More on the pages of the Daily Trust newspaper for today. Kidnapping, out-of-school children, worry northern governors, all part of the Northern Governors Forum meeting in Kaduna. Ipman threatens shutdown over 20 billion naira claims. Niger ex-president Yusufu behind my dad's ouster, according to Bazoum's daughter. And in other news, reps, NBA students reject electricity tariff. And there are many more other stories on the Daily Trust newspaper for today.
All right, moving on to the Guardian newspaper this morning. It is leading with the major story. Endless wait for a living wage. Inflation, naira depreciation plunged Nigerians to lowest wage earners. There are some graphics there. It says in March 2019, when minimum wage was increased to 30,000, inflation was just 11.2%. Minimum wage remains 30,000, but inflation today is at 33.2%. To other stories, oil marketers blame NNPC, threatening to shut down outlets over 200 billion debt. Reps MBA Falana Huriwa seek reversal of electricity tariff hike. And reps summon petroleum minister, orders over fuel scarcity nationwide. Operatives repel attack as terrorists adopt 4 in Katsina. And May Day, FG approves salary increase for civil servants. These are the major stories on the front page of The Guardian.
All right, let's speak to our go-to man on Wednesday, Mr. Wednesday himself, the one and only Mr. Ben Sherman is here on this very auspicious day, former Director News, Voice of Nigeria. So, Mr. Ben, happy Workers' Day.
Thank you very much.
It is one of those days where we look back and realize that we haven't really moved the needle as far as, life getting better for Nigerian workers is. I mean, as someone who has seen decades and decades of retrogression, I might add, you've seen the good days and now you're seeing, the not so good days. I don't want to say bad days. What do you make of, this development, especially when it comes to the welfare package? I mean, the numbers keep going up, but the reality is that the economy has made those numbers look rather useless. I mean, 30,000 20 years ago is what, I don't know, I think close to 500,000 or whatever it is 30,000 is today. But,
Absolutely.
In terms of value, it's completely been eroded. What are your thoughts about this whole minimum wage saga?
Honestly, when you talk of experience and the years back and now, I remember starting work level 8, step 3. I had 424 naira 26 kobo. I still have that pay slip today. I could take care of my family and still save, do whatever I could do. But today, look at the analysis by The Guardian. Minimum wage is 30,000 naira a month. Now, inflation is 33. I mean, how do you cope? How do you manage? How do you pay school fees, pay for water? You look at, and the moment they said you are increasing workers' salary, you're talking about federal government workers. Now, you are paying that when the landlord is waiting to hear that story. And the moment the landlord hears that, it does not matter whether somebody is a casual worker in one small hotel somewhere, he increases salary. It does not matter whether the school proprietor knows you are federal or he increases school fees. It does not matter. Look at DSTV. You just wake up, we have increased this. They have become lawmakers. You make the law and execute it. You wake up, electricity, someone, simply because you're hearing rumor that there will be salary increase. There will be increasing prices of commodity, of goods, of services. So it's not a good day at all. It's not a good time at all for the Nigerian worker. And the moment you have just one Nigerian worker, I can assure you that that person is taking care of at least, I'm not talking of his immediate family, 5 other people are waiting for that person. You know, so it's a whole lot of things. We've reached the farming season. Can these people actually buy fertilizer? Look at the cost. Then I'm hearing Obaseki of Edo State has increased his own to 70,000 naira. You see, it's not just to increase and people clap for you, you leave the stage. It happened in a state in the north where you sacked workers, sacked teachers, you know, and having allowed them to stay away for almost a year, you decided to return them 3 months to the end of your tenure. The time they were away for about a year, they were not paid. You brought them back, and suddenly you exited without paying them. Now, the incoming regime came and inherited that burden. Obaseki is about leaving office. You have simply increased that burden. For the man that will take over, is he going to pay right now before he leaves? You see, when people want to play to the gallery, okay, good thing he has done it, but can he start paying so that we know he actually means it?
All right.
So it's a big problem.
I mean, if we choose to stay on this issue, I bet we can spend the whole day talking about all that needs to be fixed. Ipman is in the news again, this time threatening to shut down petrol supply. I mean, I wonder whether it will make any difference, but basically threatening they do discontinue supply if the government doesn't pay them 200 billion. There had been a conversation earlier, and the minister directed that these monies be paid within 40 days. That has lapsed. The government is not moving. What do you make of this forth and back with this debt owed?
Yes, let me juxtapose that with Festus Keyamo in the aviation sector. When he was appointed, some directors felt they were still owing allegiance to a past minister. When the sitting minister gives directives, the one who has gone will counter. The man said, look, I will sweep these directors, and he did. Now, you having a contract with Ipman. Now they've been bridging, they'll go and take fuel and supply here and there. You've not been paying them. Up to what? 200 billion. They're into business. Didn't you sign a contract? If you did, who reneged? So, if the minister, Bokobri, is saying, look, pay this, and it is a directive expressly sent, so who is sabotaging the government? Shouldn't heads be rolling? And when we begin to hear of all sorts of complaints, Nigerians are so understanding. Let me put it this way. At the point we can't get fuel because the roads are bad. At the point you can't get fuel because the petrol tankers have refused to lift fuel. We can't get fuel because pipelines have been, they are blasting here and there. At the point there is panic buying by consumers. At the point there is hoarding by consumers. At the point, when are we going to be out of this? Africa's first number one, and crude fuel. And here we are. We are just trying to, it's just like when Benin Republic discovers oil now, we begin to understudy how. When Ghana got it, they said, look, they have to avoid the Nigerian mistakes. So Nigeria became a case study. Let's study them. Let's see their mistakes and take over from there. And they are stabilizing.
It's safe to say that the irony has become almost like a paradox, like, it beats at one's imagination. But in talking about yet another issue that has become a strain as far as public discourse is concerned is the electricity tariff thing. The House of Representatives resumed plenary yesterday to say that, listen, don't implement it, halt it. I mean, this is right up their alley. But also the NBA, Nigerian students are jumping on this one. Do you think this electricity tariff thing is going to stand, given the backlash that it continues to generate since its announcement some weeks ago?
It will work if the government is also sensitive to the yearnings and aspirations of the people. Yes, it will work. Here you are, you're having a Senate that will resume only to start fighting over seats. When Nigerians are suffering, just a sitting position, it became a problem. Now, last week, the Speaker was lamenting that tariffs on electricity were increased without taking permission. You take permission from who? Don't you do oversight? Now, if time has come that they are saying, look, we have to match the break and see what is wrong, then time has come. You have this right. It is your duty. It is a constitutional right that you bring out the laws. Make sure Nigeria is governable. But when you sit down and lament like any other ordinary person under a mango tree, to start lamenting the hardship of Nigerians, the lawmaker is key to ensuring that we have a stable polity so that we move forward progressively.
All right.
Not a kind of what we are saying.
I dare to say that whenever you see Mr. Ben putting on the black hat, those are judgment days. It's akin to the black beret in karate, if you understand what I mean. He has come blazing with so much fire this morning. In solidarity with his former colleagues, he's graduated to the senior citizen cadre. Right now, it is a pleasure to have you.
And let me inject this. Yeah. I've entered my second year after retirement. I've not seen pension, no gratuity, nothing. Zero is for me and many others.
All right.
And so it's a big problem that the Nigerian government will have to look at. It is.
What a fitting way to draw the curtains on today's program. We'll be talking to no other than the magnificent Ben Sherman, the former Director of News at the Voice of Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you join us on a special day.
Always a great pleasure on a workers' day.
You probably will have to find time to explain how you have survived 2 years without pension.
I tell you.
On a different day. That's the much that we'll bring to you this morning on Daybreak. I hope we have brought you information that will be useful for the rest of the day and indeed the rest of the week. My name is Sunday Michael Ogu. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Well, thank you most kindly for joining us. Let's do this again as always. Tomorrow we'll be back live at 8. For now, stick around. 360 Sports will be coming up at the top of the hour, and of course our coverage will also continue on today's Workers' Day. Thank you for joining us on Daybreak. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Good morning.